Never mind. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop talking.
That's all right. That's probably best.
Why don't you just talk for now
I'll
on?
talk. I'll say, hey, we have a storm going on here. So
we do have a storm, and that's the thing. We are actually, I mean, we're meeting virtually. We have this conversation virtually, but we really do it because we would prefer to not be in the same room as each other, right?
Right. It's a deodorant thing.
Because what are we, a total of like 10 minutes away?
Probably, if that.
So,
we could actually not use recording equipment. We just shout at each other.
It's like the old school ways. You'd like, hello.
Hey,
what do you happen to have in a Grey Poupon?
Why?
I think that's how they
don't
did
remember
it
what
before
he
they had
says.
vehicles.
What is it? But of course. No. What is the response? I remember the guy asking.
Well, of course.
Is it but of course? Okay,
I don't know if he said but of course
remember.
or well of course or like, I don't know.
Damn,
I know it
Skippy.
made me buy Grey Poupon. Mustard is like I'm one of those people who I don't look in others' medicine cabinets. I think that is protected information. I think that's the shameful thing to do unless you actually need something urgently, like you cut yourself on the toilet or something in someone else's bathroom. There's a story I have about cutting yourself on toilets, but we won't go there right now.
Cutting yourself on toilets.
Yeah,
That's misusing the toilet.
I have a scar from a toilet incident, but like we'll talk about that later.
We must talk about that.
But I do believe that it's perfectly fine to take a gander in someone's refrigerator.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not like uninvited, but like if you're going in to grab a beer.
It's best not to be like taking pictures or anything.
Well,
that's a little
right.
odd.
I mean, unless you're like, oh, I like your setup. Because I have gotten jealous of people's setups. You just got struck by lightning, didn't like something, didn't you?
The lights went out.
I mean,
But
you're still
the computer's
here, baby.
still up.
It's still good. You're so money you don't even know it.
Connection is still going.
Yes.
I don't know why that happened.
But this
That's
is great because you
bizarre.
actually look like you're like in a horror film. So let's just go with this. This is great.
This is so strange.
This is fantastic. Just keep going.
Look at this.
I think that it's perfectly fine.
Alexa, green screen lights on.
You're so distracted. It's perfectly fine. Oh, you're back. It's normal again. Good job.
Yeah, told Alexa to turn the green screen lights back on. Oh, crap. Also set her off just now.
Oh, you can control it through. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I got a little smart plug down there that operates them because they're up in the ceiling and I don't want to reach up there.
I understand. So anyway, as I was saying, I think it's perfectly fine to judge people. I probably didn't say it like that, but like to look in there
To
and
bring
say,
down the hammer of judgment.
like there are people who appreciate mustards and those who just don't get it.
Yeah,
And I'm excluding anybody who like says I don't like mustard. That's fine. That's a personal choice. I get it.
right. But once you sort of stand up and count yourself among mustard people,
I'm a mustard person, right?
Yeah,
then
I am a mustard person.
Now I'm gonna look and see. Okay, now what are we talking about? Is it like French's yellow mustard stuff, which fine.
Has its place.
It's fine.
Has
right?
its uses.
But if it's your only mustard,
yeah. See, now we got a problem.
yeah.
It's like the people that have only like Mrs. Butterworth's syrup and don't actually have 100% maple syrup. It's like, I would not put 100% maple syrup on an Eggo waffle, for instance. That is what Mrs. Butterworth's and Aunt Jemima's and Log Cabin, that's what those are for.
None of those exist anymore.
None of them exist?
Well, they're not supposed to. They're going away. All of those are going away.
Really? Why?
Really?
I know Aunt Jemima, but a Log Cabin?
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong with Log Cabin?
I don't know. I just assume it's going away. Who lives in a log cabin anymore?
That the actual problem is the corn syrup-based maple stuff. And it's not the problematic Aunt Jemima.
Because the normal fructose is so good for you.
Yeah. I like my fructose low.
So, I think that you can judge. You can learn a lot about somebody from Or at least, make up stories in your head about somebody. Lots of stories
That's
based
true.
on their collection of mustard.
And that's a form of knowing something about them.
It is. I think it's one of those things that they should ask, like when you're being counseled before marriage. I think I think in addition to asking, do you both want children? How strong, how important is religion in your life and that sort of thing.
It's
but I think they should also say, like,
with the fridge.
do you have mustard preferences?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if you don't, how do you feel about people who have strong mustard preferences? Because they're going to occupy a lot of shelf space. They're going to occupy a lot of shelf space.
That's true. And they do like a word association thing. It's like when I say Dijon, what do you say?
Well, I'd say, what kind?
See, and that's the right answer.
What brand or something? So Michelle and I, we committed very early on. I mean, we married a long time ago. But we agreed very early on. I don't even remember who said this first. Probably her. No matter how down and out we were, we would never, ever, ever cut corners when it came to two things: bread and toilet paper.
Bread and toilet paper. Okay.
We would always have the best bread and toilet paper. Decisions. No matter if we could afford nothing else, we would not skimp when it came to bread and toilet paper.
We're going to treat both our sandwiches and our butts very well.
I think
in a way, one of them does kind of cover the other as well. So
top to bottom, baby. Top to bottom.
It's my goal that this episode can't be released. That's my goal.
Okay, we can get there pretty quick. So I don't know. I do have a couple things I want to talk to you about, and I don't know, and they have nothing to do with mustard.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And so I'm just going to put stuff out there, and you decide.
I'll let you
decide. So you can either. I have a mystery that it's unresolved.
No, that's interesting.
So there's that, and it's related. It actually is related to Disney.
Hey, look at that. Ostensibly what brought us together.
But it takes place like more than 40 years ago.
Okay.
And it's still, the mystery persists.
It's a persistent mystery.
Yes. That's what I meant by the mystery. A persistery. Persistery.com. I'm getting it right now.
I have an unhealthy obsession with portmanteaus.
Persistery. With what?
That's a word that's made of two words.
Oh, it's not like a sniglet.
What?
You don't know about sniglets?
Oh, a sniglet. I thought you said a snake light. I was like, I cannot process this. I have not had enough to drink.
How do you feel about mustard on your snake lights?
Well, boy, it is portmanteau, let me tell you.
A snake light is a handy thing to have, and I've never owned one.
Are we talking about like that's bendy and you can stick it down into holes and stuff and like?
Well, you can like wrap it on things and it like holds on like.
Oh right, yeah. So it's kind of like the monster pod.
I'm not talking about like an endoscopy. I'm talking about
who is that's not the side that it goes in, but but yeah, it's sort of like the monster tripod of flashlights where you can wrap it around stuff and all that. Yeah, I remember those.
I never had one.
I haven't seen those in a while.
I see them advertised on late night television, and then I don't.
Okay.
Or we could talk about. They have the whole toilet incident. The scarring.
Yeah, clearly that's now on the dock.
Yeah, right. Or we could talk about Craig Cadd.
Craig Cadd.
And he's. To give the topic away is to give the story away. So I just have to lead with Craig Cadd, who's a real person. I think he's still alive. I hope he's still alive. I haven't talked to him since. Probably also like 40 years.
You haven't talked to him in 40 years?
Yeah.
You talked to him when you were 7?
Yeah.
So this is a person you know? and not necessarily a
I did know.
person.
I mean, I don't know if he's still alive.
Because I'm over here feeling stupid that I don't know who Craig Cat is.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to surreptitiously Google this.
You will feel stupid at the end of the story that you don't know. It's.
Oh, it turns out I'm Craig Cat.
So I give you door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3.
I have to admit that all three of these sound amazing. Particularly the thing where you've been scarred by a toilet. But I have to go with the
least interesting of the story.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, and it's probably one of those things where it's like it's better left at that point. Because if you actually heard about it, then you're like, never mind. But I want to hear about this mystery. I want to hear about the 40-year-old Walt Disney mystery.
Okay. So I will set the stage for you.
Please do.
Actually, I think what I can do is play you a little something.
Oh, you're going to play me something.
So let me see if I can find this. I don't even know if this, because we didn't set this up in advance.
No.
I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this. Let's see.
No.
I think we can do this. I'm gonna search for something on my computer to play for you. I'm not gonna like pull an instrument out or something. Don't get all excited.
Well, now you're shattering all my hopes and dreams over here.
I figured.
And by the way, as we mentioned at dinner the other night, my grandmother has just sent me a message, probably to let me know that it's storming outside.
Tell her I said hi.
Will do.
All right, let's see if it's in here.
I bet it is.
Is this? No. Oh, what is this? I don't think that's what I intended.
She just talked about her weather, not mine.
Oh.
She likes to
How's her weather?
She said it was sunny and dry.
Well, there you have it. Let's see if this is the one.
Dry, 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 she said. And that's 8 exclamation points, so that must have been really dry.
All right, so this is not the one.
This is riveting.
I figured you'd really appreciate this. All right. Oh, here it is. Might be it. Side 1. Is this it?
Side 1.
Yeah.
Media hasn't come on sides in, well, I guess maybe 40 years.
Wow. Okay. So, and you couldn't hear any of that, right?
That's correct.
Okay. So let me see. Open with. I'm going to open it with. I do not want to open with iTunes. I want to open it with. Oh, there's a gnat. I gotta kill this thing. He's been bugging me all day.
I had one too. What is with gnats around here?
I don't know, but like it's driving me crazy. He's been with me for 2 weeks.
Have you named him?
No, I don't want to name him because I don't feel bad about killing him.
No, name him something bad.
That's no. Can't do that. Terrible.
Natty Bumpo.
Natty Bo.
Nat.
All right.
Nat King Cole. No, that would be bad.
King. Yeah.
Nat.
Well,
What's a bad gnat? Bad Nat. That's his name. Bad Nat. See, you could kill Bad Nat.
So I'm going to try to share. So through the power of Zoom, I'm going to try to share something with you.
That is the Main Street Electrical Parade.
I ran this circle and it went up real high and I was steering it and I was afraid to take it up too high. I was afraid that the thing would fall off because it was on top.
That's my brother
the
speaking.
people mover. And Jason can talk about it too. And I was shooting at you guys. Yeah, Jason was shooting at my mom and Papa. They were in front of us. Talk about it. And the okay, and we saw Mickey Mouse's parade.
I was always sticking up for Donald Duck. Okay, so here's the thing.
I also love the thing that older brothers always do, where they try to guide the little brother.
You'll hear him later if we played the whole thing. He talk about Spacebound. Okay, so here's the deal.
Okay.
For most of my life, up until just about 2 years ago, I believed, as you could see from the titling on that audio,
1976,
that recording occurred in 1976. I was brought up to believe that date was true, I had no reason to believe otherwise. I was always told I was 3 years old when I went to Disney for the first time. There's a whole story about how I was snuck by my grandmother onto Space Mountain when I was way too small to be on it.
3. Wow.
And I got on it. And as you can hear from the tape, if we listen to the whole thing, I explained to my grandfather about how it gave me a heart attack. I literally say that.
And that was back when you sat in people's laps and stuff. I remember, like, you sit right in front of them, and then there was a seat belt that went around both of you. It was really weird.
Let's just say they didn't let me on the second time. Like, there was a more responsible cast member, or more attentive. Anyway, the bit of music that you heard before the very cute, conversation.
Extremely cute.
That bit of music is the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Yes, I know it well.
Okay. If you know anything about the Main Street Electrical Parade, and I don't know how much you know about the Main Street Electrical Parade.
It's electrical, I know that much.
So if I'm going to put in Main Street Electrical Parade into my quantitative machine here, and if you
see if it'll tell you where the golden ticket is too.
And if you go to Main Street Electrical Parade, I'm not looking going to some fly-by-night site. I'm going to d23.com, which is the official Disney fan club.
Straight from the mouse.
The article on Main Street Electrical Parade begins, parade in summers at Disneyland beginning on June 17th, 1972 and ending November 25th, 1996. Okay, that's Disneyland.
Disneyland.
The parade did not run in 1975 and 1976 because of America on Parade for the Bicentennial.
Okay.
But it returned in 1977 with a new edition. Okay, this is all about Disneyland. If you skip down next couple sentences, you will see it says, a duplicate version of the Main Street Electrical Parade ran at Magic Kingdom Park at Walt Disney World beginning on June 11th, 1977 and ending on September 14th, 1991 when it was replaced by Spectro Magic.
Yeah. 77.
Okay. So when I learned this a couple of years ago, I was like, kind of like blown away. Like, oh my God, I was actually 4 when I went. I mean, everybody's listening to this and thinking like, who the hell cares? But it's a big deal in all of your life, like your first trip. I mean, this is weird. Like, this is me and Disney. Like it's not like, the first time I ever had a hot dog. No, this is like Disney. Okay, so it's a big deal. And the second time I went to Disney was when I was 13. It was like 10 years later. And the next time I went to Disney was when I got married 10 years later. So like, it's like a big deal, like this, like rhythm, right? Okay. So that's a little crushing. And I tried to gently point this out to my mother that, this was just not right. And she, what she probably wasn't really paying attention until she heard me talking about it on, I don't know, one of the shows, either a lunch break or something. And she's like, you got it wrong. I'm like, no, you've got it wrong. I have like
the tapes.
I have the internet behind me. Like they know when these things started, right? Well, this is just like, it was just, so she says like, I mean, she has strong evidence. She says, she says like, it was 1976. I'll tell you how I know it was 1976 because your younger brother was born in 1977, which he was.
Okay.
In December, very end of December 31st.
Right.
And
that's past June.
And I was not, she says, I was not pregnant when we were in Disney World. And, and who am I to say, you just don't remember when you were pregnant or you don't remember that you were pregnant. Like clearly you were pregnant. Maybe it was an easy pregnancy and like she's got, like she knows. Right. And women kind of know these things.
They tend to notice,
right?
Yes.
So that was a bit of a conundrum. So at the same time, I was just thinking like, I don't know. And it is what it is. So she's cleaning out some like old boxes with papers from my grandmother, who passed away a few years ago. And she finds this little doozy.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
What is that?
It's like a dam.
Yeah, okay. It's a dam.
It's Santee Dam and Spillway.
Oh, is it a postcard? Well, I guess there's no way you could have gotten that angle back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Locate, and so this is so anyway, there's a little note here about how, hi, this is a beautiful campground. We are right by the bridge. Lovely pier goes far out in the water. Kids are so excited. They're almost uncontrollable tonight. Have to go through about 75 miles of South Carolina, then through Georgia and Florida. Should be about 9 hours driving. We stopped for a lot of gas and breaks. Will take us 11 hours.
So that was on the trip.
Right. She sent this on the trip.
Okay.
But she mailed it from Orlando.
Okay.
And she mailed it.
And what's the postmark? Is it? What am I looking at? 76.
1976.
Uh-oh. So that
I have a
doesn't.
recording of the Main Street Electrical Parade on the same cassette. I actually still have the physical cassette. I digitized it several years ago because I was afraid it would just stop working at some point. I had the actual cassette. That sound, you can hear, like it. That was recorded first. The audio picks like it.
Well,
it's
there's
impossible.
two possibilities.
We didn't go back to Walt Disney World.
Oh, that's a good point. That was only
13.
one trip.
Like, how is this possible?
And we're sure that the recording of Main Street Electrical Parade was live, because I know that they had that there was a picture disc record that you could get of the Main Street Electrical Parade music, because I had it, because I fell in love with that friggin' thing when I first saw it, because that was in '83, but or was it? But was it maybe you recording it off of something else?
No.
Or because it's
the
possible that the interview with you guys is the thing that was laid down first, and then like, does the Main Street Electrical Parade stuff pick up again after?
Never. No.
So it's just
no. The only thing that picks up again at the very end of the audio is my dog. Her name was Shika. She passed away many years ago.
Does she mention anything that would identify what year it was?
You can hear when she's a puppy. So I kind of you figure that out from there. That would have been like when I was in.
It's like, gosh, I hope we get to see that new Star Wars movie.
It would have been like when I was in 4th grade or 5th grade. Return of the Jedi, probably. Or maybe that was 3rd grade.
Well, 77. That's
no. I'm talking saying this was so. What happened was at
so
some point
it's like
in the future,
way forward.
My younger brother, son of a gun, like decided to record on this cassette at the tail end of it, and it records over part of the very tail end of the interview.
Oh, okay.
And it's the say I can hear my dog whining in the background when she was a puppy, and you hear some sitcom on TV. I have no idea why, but what I'm saying is that this was like, it's blowing my mind.
So I honestly, does the interview part pick up at the beginning of the interview? Are you sure that's the beginning? Because I wonder if the Main Street stuff was recorded over the first part of the interview, because it's very odd to start.
I agree.
Something farther into the tape.
Well, no, that's what not if you consider it this way. Like, to get the tape. Oh, here's the best part about this tape. The tape. So this was my grandparents' tape recorder that we were using. Mm-hmm. The cassette, or I think it was at least the cassette that they gave us to use to record stuff on, was like the demo tape that you get with the recorder.
Oh, it has like stuff on it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So like we just recorded over like the stupid like sound test tape or whatever. There's like advertising stuff on it. So
it's a very
so you can imagine like you would have recorded the parade from that day, and then when you're back at we were staying at the campground, so we're back in the mobile home, not the mobile, the RV. We'd record about our
Fort Wilderness or
yeah. So
cool.
I mean, I can pull it up again.
I don't think that's necessary, but I mean, it's,
if you want to hear like where let me see if I can dial into where it like starts and ends, or okay.
It's the fact that you didn't go back that's the confusing part to me, because now I don't know how you got that recording. Even if the recording from Main Street Electrical Parade was recorded over the interview,
how did they?
I don't know where it came from.
Right. So here, listen to this.
That's definitely the electrical parade. There's no mistaking it.
And I ran this circle and it went up real high and I was steering it and I was afraid to take it up too. I was afraid.
It's hard to tell. I mean, you could be right.
I mean, it sounds like you're in the middle of telling a story. So I think the Main Street Electrical Parade stuff was recorded on top of the interview. But again, where did it come from if you guys didn't go back for another 10 years?
And why would they have only recorded just a little bit of it? And on the cassette that we had, like, I don't...
Right. And who would have recorded it? And did you take the... See, that's why I'm wondering if it was a record or something, because is that something you guys did? Take tape recorders into Walt Disney World and tape things?
Time. No, I don't, like, no.
Yeah, you were very small at the time, so I guess you wouldn't really have noticed.
I didn't really do anything.
That seems an odd. I mean, I guess we
spill orange juice on my brother, which I do in the audio in the tape too, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, do you? That's nice.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't know. It's a mystery, right? And like it doesn't. I mean, so my mother scored points today for basically saying, look, it was 1976 when we were there.
And she got official government documentation of that. That's pretty impressive.
Literally. She totally did.
She's like, what you think now? Suck it.
I want to, I was hoping that I had something else to share with you related to that. Here it is. I found it. I'm not going to share it with you now because it's just going to be boring. No. But it is like
I appreciate you informing me of this.
What? Okay,
I have found a thing,
anyway now,
and you can't see it.
Like, no, because now you have to listen, you and everyone else. Oh, that's interesting. Why did it not open my? How about that? How about them apples? That's interesting. Well, this is the part where I don't know what's happening, so I'm just gonna have to. I just have to do this later.
I'm gonna blame it on the storm. Blame it on the rain. We talked about
on the rain.
What was it? Not Milli Vanilli, but it was Willie Manilli.
Milli Vanilli.
Oh God,
I love Milli
tend
Vanilli.
to like callbacks, but that one's pretty funny.
You gotta blame it on the rain, because the rain don't mind, and the rain don't care. You've got.
I literally don't know the rest of that song.
What?
Blame It on the Rain's the only part that I remember.
What's wrong with you?
I've seen it because I remember the video had them standing in like green screen rain and doing the thing with their legs.
I've got good news for you.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I found it. So I give you side 2. Side 2.
So I've heard side 2 already, or this?
This is side 2 of the cassette, and I'm not sure. Not sure where it picks up. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, sorry, that's really loud.
You're listening to a tape recorder from Sanyo, one of the largest manufacturers of tape recorders in the world. At Sanyo, we take pride in our worldwide reputation for quality, for performance-engineered products with the latest features. Features like three-way power.
I just can't get enough of that music.
Three-way power.
Like, dude, that music, it's the best ever, right? Like the best.
Oh, it's
ever.
Awesome! I love it.
And we may have to append. We may have to like.
The VO guy is amazing.
I mean,
you're listening to a. Oh, that's my Jim Cummings voice.
Your Jim Cummings voice should sound like poo.
Well, I think it sounds okay.
Okay. So that's my mystery, and I like it's. I like your explanation. I don't have an explanation for your explanation.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that that would explain it if you guys went back in '77, but you didn't, or
the
later.
Only
I mean, you did go back
the
later,
only
but
possible way for this to happen is if, as you could hear, this demo tape that comes with the cassette recorder. Side 2 never had anything recorded on it other than that. Like it never was recorded over. Okay, so it was only side 1 that was ever used.
Mm-hmm.
Side 1 contains at the very beginning of the tape, the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Yeah.
A clip of it.
Right.
Then the next
and it's very
piece,
low too, so it's not like
it is, but it could be like from a bag, recorded from a bag or something, like almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of weird. Like, oh, we shouldn't be recording this. We're going to record it like
we figured pretty
clandestinely.
much that it was recorded on location, as it were.
Yeah, but I mean, all evidence, right? Because the next thing on the tape is this like interview of my older brother,
Right,
who is now
right.
52 years old, doing doing this interview with me during our one and only trip in my life at that point until I was 13. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This tape, then, the only way they could get the Main Street Electrical Parade recorded over it in the beginning would be somebody would have had to rewind it,
Yeah.
take that cassette back
Right.
to Walt Disney World.
10 years later.
Well, not even 10 years later. Let's say it was still in possession of my grandparents at this point. Like, let's say they went back to Walt Disney World
And they went and didn't tell you.
and only recorded just a little snippet of the Main Street Electrical Parade over an interview that their grandchildren did.
On a demo tape.
On the
That has
demo
to be
tape.
like the least convenient tape. Did you have to put tape over the little divot
No.
that you? No. Oh, okay.
There was no dividend. I don't know.
So they didn't.
don't know.
Sanyo was pretty much expecting you to record over
I
this
should have
thing.
brought the cassette too. Like I didn't expect to talk about this until my mother produced this thing today, and then I was like, okay, I gotta talk
So we
about
got
this.
new development today. So brought
So,
to the forefront.
Or-
Yeah, I don't know,
or,
man. You got a
it
weird
was on
phantom-
television, and maybe we recorded it. Off
That
of
occurred to me, but there's
television,
nothing
over-
else on, because it is low, but you only hear the music. You don't hear anything else. You don't hear any kind of commentary. Like if it was on television, I'd be like, and here comes the little turtle float.
Or you hear
and,
Sheikah barking in the background, or something like something.
and it's just the main music too. It's none of the like float specific music as they're going by or whatever. Where you hear the version of it that's like or whatever when the little bugs come by or whatever.
How does it go again?
There's this that's
Which you still hear with the water pageant.
oh yeah.
So that's my mystery, and if anyone can help shed light on said mystery, I would
Yeah,
very much
that's
appreciate
pretty
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
do you think?
the amount of coincidence that would have to take place for that to be what it appears to be.
There is the possibility. So there's this other possibility here that I actually think is somewhat likely.
Your brother
That's-
did this on purpose and he's screwing with you?
No. That someone at Disney has the year wrong.
Oh, that's the year
that somewhere
of,
in Disney archives or someone somewhere wrote down that the year is like there's like a single point of entry, like a patient zero kind of thing, where it was recorded as having happened in 1977.
and that's just disseminated through all of the stuff out there.
Because what I do know is that I was there based on the government evidence.
Yes.
Is that we were there in what does this say? November. It looks like 20 something of November, probably around Thanksgiving.
Well,
actually.
here's the sort of the question
Which
that
also
I've
jives with
been.
my mother's story. She remembered it as being Thanksgiving, and
So if it was Thanksgiving,
so it
76.
could be that they did have the bicentennial parade, and then they started the Main Street Electrical Parade
well,
after that.
I was going to say
run.
that. Is it possible you saw some kind of a? I mean, do you remember seeing the Main Street Electrical Parade? I know you were very small.
I remember a lot of things from that trip. I mean, a lot of things having only been 3 years old.
Yeah.
I can't say that I definitively remember. I do remember the water
So I wonder if
pageant.
you saw
I don't know
soft.
that I remember that.
Did they have soft openings back then? I don't think that they.
It could be
that
they
was
just
something
rolled it
they
out
even-
early.
Yeah. I mean, there is that sort
Thanksgiving.
of super America float that's
Or
like
maybe
close to the end, right?
Maybe
I think it is
maybe
the
they,
end.
or maybe the music here. Because here's the other possibility: was that music used for another
the,
parade, like either the bicentennial parade?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be
That
it.
might be it.
It could be that Main Street Electrical Parade music was used in the bicentennial parade, or that they actually previewed part of the Main Street Electrical Parade in the bicentennial parade.
Right. Because like I said, you don't hear anything other than the music. You don't hear crowd noises, and you don't hear, and it doesn't like rise and fall like it would if the floats were playing the music and going by, it would kind of get louder, and then it would go off when the float left.
But it's only like
seemed pretty.
And that's pretty
steady.
early on, I think, in the parade. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be before the floats even got there. It's just the music that's coming over the speakers. That's true. And the guy in the vocoder.
So here we go.
Gentlemen, boys and girls. That's pretty crazy, man. That's a paradox. You gotta
right?
There's some time travel involved in that. I have no doubt.
If I need like a little, I don't know, pillow, or somebody could just rub my back or something. I'm like all uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, your mom's there. Could you go? The answer to that question is no. Well, now you made me all uncomfortable in my chair.
Sorry about that. I hurt my back.
And this is supposed to be with like a super duper computer chair.
2 back surgeries.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
In my life. Well, the first one was in 2006, and it was about 10 years in the making. I had issues with sciatica for like a long time. I started very young,
with sciatica.
Yeah,
your parents insisted.
I was like the kid. I don't know. It was like there should be like a Disney movie or like an after school special for me, like the kid with sciatica or something
kid.
like that. Yeah,
sciatic kid.
Probably from all the times I was playing, like pretending to be Steve Austin, jumping off the high things.
That may
that was
had
Jamie
something
Summers. Sorry, she's the one.
You were pretending to be Jamie Summers.
Well, I'd be with her.
Not that there's anything
woman. Wrong with that, but I would be.
No.
Anyway, I was a big Steve Austin buff. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. All right. So anyway, I hurt my back moving like magic stuff.
Moving magic stuff.
My grandfather was a magician. The grandfather who I was in Walt Disney World with when I was 3 years old, who's on the audio tape.
That's why the tape is crazy. He's a magician. He magicianed it.
It could be. And I still have a lot of his stuff. Not a lot of his stuff. I still have a little bit of his stuff, which was a ton. But to a lot of people, this would be a lot of stuff. Anyway, it's like in old crates, like steamer crates kind of things.
Of course. That's how they have to come.
So
this is fascinating.
When Michelle was back in Baltimore visiting family, I decided I would be kind and move said magic.
You put on the show, didn't you?
Out of what is supposed to be a dining room, which we don't use as the dining room, into the garage.
It's a magic emporium.
Well, I think I lifted it improperly. So I had back surgery in 2006. Everything was great after that.
Major skeletal
had to have surgery again in
disappear.
2014 because it was the same disc but the other side. Again, perfect, great recovery. Everything was great. Very minor issues after that until I moved this magic stuff 2 months ago.
Yikes.
And now I can't get comfortable on this chair today.
No, man. You need one of those donut pillows.
Oh.
That they give you for the hemorrhoids.
I don't know.
I don't know why. You just need one. They do have one that's...
I hope to never... Like, you go through life wanting to experience life fully, right? But there's some things...
that you'd rather leave unexperienced.
I don't think I need to
Hemorrhoid surgery being one of them.
No, that'd be nice. Yeah, God willing. I also wouldn't like to not have to sit on a hemorrhoid pillow.
Yeah, well, you have to. It's better if you want to sit on the hemorrhoid pillow. Having to sit on it, that's when it becomes very unpleasant. If it's an elective choice,
unless
then
it's
you're
like
probably
a punishment of some sort, and then to each their own.
Sorry, buddy. You got to sit on the donut pillow.
So,
2 hours on the donut.
Blame it on the donut. No, it doesn't quite work, does it?
Hemorrhoids, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So, you want to know about Craig Cadd?
Let's move on to Craig Cadd. What is the deal with Mr. Cadd?
The year was
Wayback Machine.
First grade. When was I in first grade? It would have been when you were in first grade, probably. Which
we were probably in first grade.
So wait, what month is your birthday? What month
is
your birthday?
in May.
Oh, mine's in. That's all right. Did we establish that already? All right.
I think we
were
did. Yeah,
probably
like
in school, literally the same years. So you graduated high school
class
in
of 91,
91, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I didn't graduate till 97, but that's a different. It's not true. I did graduate on time.
Goes back to your magician
but-
grandfather.
Right. But after I climbed out of the steamer trunk, I realized it was 1986. I had my vape.
Ta-da!
Presto changeo.
Your mom thinks you've been dead this whole time. It's been very
that
awkward.
is actually meaningful to some people that I just said.
that Presto
Metamorphosis.
changeo?
And, yeah.
Oh, metamorphosis.
Yeah, and with the steam trunk in it. Anyway.
Kafka thing.
So, first grade, probably 19.
Oh, I
80?
routinely have to do this math.
No, so earlier than that. 1979.
18 equals 12. So 1891 minus 12.
80? Maybe I'm. How old were we?
79. 78? 78. No.
78?
91,
No.
79.
79? Okay.
So 78 to 79. That school year.
Really that long ago?
I think so.
Holy cow.
Because 12 years later
my
is 91,
God.
right? And that's 12 grades.
Good Lord.
Or maybe I'm
Okay.
starting with 0. Maybe it's 79, 80.
Maybe. Let's go with that because that just feels better for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm
God,
not in math.
We're
mode
so
right
not.
now.
We're old but not old. We're in that weird age where you're like, you yourself don't feel old. Like even though you know,
Right.
You're different than me. Like I have gray hair and coming in.
Well,
it's like
luckily I'm blonde and we go gray later. But
and the COVID
I
situation
feel
was
the
not
gray
good.
hair.
Because I let my hair grow, and so but like that just it just shows more gray. I think.
Yeah, and it also the unkemptness of it is no longer like cool. Not yours, but just in general. Like
you're
if
saying
you,
I know. I thought you were making some weird like hair like
no,
follicle.
Like I knew.
comment. I don't know.
Like I know something about hair.
Yeah.
The shine and bounce is I don't know, but
Egg whites.
egg whites,
Mayonnaise?
apparently.
Okay, so
Seems like an 80s
at that
thing.
weird age where like feel old but not. I mean, like there's wrinkles and like spots and like gray hair, and so like by any. But we talked about this whole getting carded thing, right? So
Right, yeah.
but we're at that weird like cuspy age. Like I still don't like
our circle overlaps a little bit with the like young dudes and a little bit with the old dudes, but we're not fully one or the other.
Right, and I still don't feel like I can wear a serious hat and pull it off.
Oh God, no.
Right, but like back in the day, like good like 50, 60 years ago, I mean, we would have been wearing you and I would have been wearing serious hats for like 20 years already.
Dapper hats, yeah.
I mean, watch It's a
fedoras
Wonderful
and
Life. By the
whatnot.
time Jimmy Stewart's character is like 12, he's wearing.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. Like, at what point do you bridge the gap into manhood where you suddenly are expected socially to wear a hat? Like, what age is that from back then, from the 40s or the 50s? I
Like
wonder.
back then, what age did you start wearing?
Yeah,
that?
like or now. I mean,
I think in your 20s you started wearing it. It was basically as soon as you started wearing a suit,
20s,
you
you
started
think?
wearing a
Like-
hat. Yeah.
around the same time you stopped wearing short pants, as they say,
Knickers.
knickers. Like, I
Knickers.
was doing that since you went short pants. You know.
Might have heard of short pants. Anyway,
Really?
okay, I
Interesting.
digress. Craig Cadd, first grade.
He was in short pants.
He was a friend from school. We didn't really get together outside of school because he didn't live close. But like he lived close enough clearly to go to the same elementary school, but not close enough for us to like just get together.
Okay.
So it was like, I always wanted to be friends with him. We got along really well in school. We're chummy. Mm-hmm. This is what it is. Okay. So it was this would have been set the scene. It would have been January. So probably 1980.
Okay.
It was my older brother's birthday. What would have been his 13th birthday. So he was having a sleepover, having friends over for the sleepover. And my mother told me that I could also have someone over, like one friend, right?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get jealous, I guess. And
Right,
mostly
yeah,
so I would
it's
stay out of his business probably, right? Like
It's the pressure release valve that they do.
Okay, so I tell my mother I want Craig Cat to come over for dinner, come over for sleepover. Okay, so she calls Craig Cat's mom. Craig Cat's mom says, he's going to come over, whatever. Okay. The day of the party, Craig's not in school.
No.
He's out sick.
Mm-hmm.
I was devastated, like all day, anxious, palpable, first grade anxiety, like about how Craig's not going to be able to come over. So I get home, get off the bus.
Now, was this already arranged? Had you already asked Craig and he was saying, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, my mother called his mother. Like it was whole thing was done, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how far in advance. It probably wasn't
Send
very
it through
far in
channels.
advance, probably like 2 days, right? So like, you can imagine like Thursday she calls to arrange for it. Friday, he's not in school. He's out sick. Like, this is not good. So get off the bus. Like I'm probably running up the door, like with my either my Star Wars or my Happy Days lunchbox, like swinging in the breeze, right? Like I get inside.
Happy Days rock.
Like, Mom, like Craig was out today. He's like, Craig's not there. I think he's sick. He's not going to be able to come over. Blah, blah, blah. So she said, let me call his mother. So she calls his mother. He's coming.
Okay, great. He's going to be sick, but he'll be there.
Dig it. As Fonzie would say, I dig it, dig it, dig it. That's what he said. I dig it, dig it.
Hey,
Hey. Yeah, but he had like a thumbs thing. Didn't he say dig it? Dig it?
Well, hey.
I know it was hey. He didn't say dig it, did he? I just totally screwed up the
Well,
fonts.
he might have said it, but it wasn't like a catchphrase. He didn't say it enough that
he
people
didn't say
remember.
Okay. Anyway.
Hey, Richie, I dig it. That's a little more. Hey, yeah, I don't know.
You're saying more of a Richie guy. Yeah, I can get it.
Rich.
I do like Ron Howard.
Cunningham.
Anyway. So, all right. So he's coming over, according to his mom.
Okay.
So it's evening. It's dark out. Brother's friends are there. I'm waiting for Craig. Car pulls up in the driveway. I'm excited. There's a doorbell. Ding, ding, ding. Right. I'm all excited. I come out in the kitchen. My mother's opening the door. In walks his mom, and in walks not Craig.
Oh no! Is she making his apologies?
Oh no, there's a kid. So I
There is a kid.
That was my face. The face you just made was exactly. I'm sure, as God is my witness, is probably the facial expression I had. So I'm like
got
around
the
the
back
corner,
up.
and I'm little, so I can kind of hide behind the oven, right? So I'm like. Not like a Hansel Gretel kind of thing, but like I'm like, around the corner of the oven, like, Mom, come here, right? So she's like, excuse me. She's like, we walk into the dining room because the dining room's like around the corner further. Like, she's like, what's wrong with you? I said, that's the wrong kid.
His mom arranged for a stand-in.
No, it's worse.
It's worse. She went to the agency. It's like, look, I want one that looks just like my kid.
It's so much worse. Okay, here we go.
Who is this poor kid that doesn't know what he's getting into here?
Oh my God. I gotta recover. Okay, so this kid says, I knew who he was.
Oh, okay. So it's not completely unknown.
But he wasn't in my class.
Uh-huh.
He's like in the other first grade class.
Right. So he might as well be from Mars.
His name is Greg.
Greg.
Yes, Greg.
Okay.
My mother thought I said I wanted to invite Greg.
Oh.
So when she opened up in the cabinet, hanging in the cabinet right next to our rotary telephone, that was mounted on the wall, this yellow phone.
Oh no!
Was the school phone number list, which because no one was worried about privacy back then. Like all the kids and all the parents' names and their phone numbers associated, right, for each class.
Oh no!
So she went to there's Greg, whatever his last name. I don't know for the life of me what his last name is, and called.
Dad.
And so Greg's mom. And she was so happy. Apparently, like this woman was so happy because Greg was not like a socialite.
Oh no!
Greg didn't really have many friends, so this was like a big stinking deal.
Yeah, he was like, hey, somebody likes me.
But weird,
and then
like,
you're
he
over there
wasn't
going,
like, Mom, I don't know that kid. Like, I don't even know. I mean, I know he's like in the other class, but why would he invite me here? I don't know, right?
Right.
Well, guess what?
What?
I had Greg stayed. Greg
Oh,
stayed tonight.
good. Yeah. That would be so
And it was
sad if
weird.
Greg
I
got
don't know
kicked
that
out.
it ever didn't get weird. I think it was weird straight through.
Like, as he left,
Like, you're just the wrong kid. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even. And I think we got, and it's not even like we have opportunities to hang out. We're not in the same class. You know how that is.
Right.
You have separate recesses.
So I had no idea you even knew who I was.
If I see you on the bus, it's going to be a big
are.
deal. And I think the only other thing we ever did is I got invited to his birthday party.
Well, now he feels awkwardly obliged.
I think it was like Pappy's. I remember it being at Pappy's, I think, because you could get like, they had like balloons attached to clown. I don't know. It was like clown. I don't know.
Balloons attached to clowns?
Clown cutout things.
Clown attached
they were like
balloon.
the feet. I don't know. That's I don't remember.
Oh, hold up a minute. Like the balloon had clown feet?
Yeah, that's it.
I have a weird memory of that.
I think it was Pappy's.
Is that what it was called? Because I remember. Now this is
they may
weird.
Not
this
have
is
had like a monopoly on the idea, but
well, maybe not. But I do remember being a very young kid, probably around the 3 that you were in that recording, and having a balloon with the clown feet attached to it, where it's like little not even cardboard, like card stock clown feet cut out, and a little like star shaped hole in it that you could pull the knot from the balloon through.
And that's exactly right.
And then I was in the back seat of my grandfather's car, a big honking aircraft carrier Buick, and the window was down, and it was making the balloon like dance around, and I was just enjoying the hell out of this. And then you see where this is going.
Oh no!
And the balloon just shoots right out of the back of the car.
Oh no!
And I am utterly devastated. And my mother, like, God bless her, my mother, takes me home and actually gets a balloon and cuts out a little clown feet thing and puts it in the balloon and provides it to me. And while I was still, the shock of the loss was still rocking my world. Mm-hmm. It was very nice. It was very sweet. But for whatever reason, I guess it's because it's traumatic, right? When you're a kid and something like that happens, you've only been alive for 3 years. It is quite literally the worst thing that's ever happened to you.
I mean, that you can remember, because I'm pretty sure, like,
right. Well, there have been times when you've been squeezed through
like
orifices and things like that. That thankfully we don't have a cognitive memory of. But this one, and honestly, like, I could have been playing with a bowling ball in the back of the car, and I would still insist that the windows were up, because as far as I know, when that sucker's down, whatever you're playing with gets sucked out. It doesn't matter how heavy it is, how big it is. It may be like, your cousin, like, right out of the window.
Like after this event?
After that, It was like PTSD for a kid.
I had PTSD related to
windows up, windows up.
Windstorms. Any kind of, not just windstorms for one. But I had this like little fort in the backyard, and it was like a little, well, not even a fort. It was like your dad builds you like this house that you get from the Sears catalog kind of thing.
Oh yeah, cool.
But it's actually of real wood and stuff, but like not the best kind of wood. It's not quite. It's better than balsa wood, but not much.
Not exactly English oak.
And I would watch. I remember like watching out the window when like a big storms would come through, and I'd watch this thing, and I'd see it's out there shaking and shuddering, like. I'm like, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. It's gonna go. And one day, that son of a gun went like
intact, left the ground.
And just into pieces.
Oh, man. Oh. That's terrible.
Terrifying.
Oh, I bet.
We got it replaced.
Uh-huh.
And he tied it down with like metal. It was like the kind of thing you lock your bike up with. It was like, you know, like metal wrapped in in rubber that like extends
sort of
clear
steel braided kind of
2 over the back to like anchors into the ground. And still every time a storm came after that, I was like, I'm like looking out the window, misses me like, is it gonna go? It's like, it's windy. And I watch it shaking.
I've seen things, man.
Well, it's shaking, and I knew, like, oh, if it wasn't for the straps, God bless the straps. It wasn't for the straps, it's gone.
Right, yeah. That's sweet.
And one time I lost a weeble wobble I had a submarine. Talk about just a setup for disaster. I mean, like this is just asking for trouble.
Weeble wobble submarine.
You remember weeble wobbles?
I do remember the
weeble and the wobble, but they won't fall down. I
didn't realize that they had a navy.
Coast Guard maybe. I had a submarine, the weeble wobble thing, and the weeble wobble. He even looked like he was like like a scuba kind of thing, and he would sit in the submarine, and of course he has to come out of the submarine because he has to go explore and stuff in his like little submarine thing,
Can't
right?
just stay in the submarine.
And of course, you know, if you're out exploring in the ocean, you're going to, part of the story, you're going to encounter a vortex. You're going to encounter a giant whirlpool of sorts.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, you have a kraken, of course, and then you have a giant whirlpool, right?
Right.
Well,
these are standard.
You know, I wanted to see, you know, like when you get if you have a big tub full of water, you get that like cyclone.
Oh, yeah.
Thing. I love watching that. So it's just like spin and spin and spin right now. Watch that. And you could take things and you could like drop it and it just gets sucked down the drain.
Yeah.
It's great. It's the best thing. So my weeble wobble dude, I thought it would be cool. Like I could he's going to go, he's like, you know, he's going to fight and he's going to resist. He's going to escape. Or maybe not.
Is he though?
Because he goes down and he gets right to the drain. Oh, I didn't mention that I take the drain thing out. Because if you take the drain... The
grid or whatever.
You know, it's one of those things you like switch. You flip the switch and like it closes, opens.
Right.
But if you grab it, you can yank that baby out like you're removing.
Oh yeah, and it's got the long sort of hook kind of thing on it.
Alien. It comes out.
Yeah.
And the hair all attached to it, and it's like
oh god, yeah.
Right. Anyway, you set that aside because you get better suction.
You do, don't you?
It's more powerful, bigger vortex. Weeble wobble, right? Gets down to that hole. I snatch his head. I got it right by the head. Like, don't go, Weeble wobble. And I can feel fate tugging on his feet.
Uh-oh.
And I'm just holding on to his head. It's like I can feel my little, probably like 6-year-old fingers just like, and then,
ooh,
down the drain.
The weeble, now the whole thing, or did the weeble?
Oh, just the weeble wobble, dude. I had
bifurcate.
The submarine's not gonna fit down the drain.
Well, no, but I mean, it's, you know how the weeble wobbles are like they're like a Tylenol capsule, right? They've got they're sort of seamed in the middle, and they're kind of, you know, I was worried that he might get sucked in two.
No.
In twain.
Nope.
No, but he went down the depths to Davy Jones' sewer.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So after that, I became also desperately afraid of anything going down the drain.
Things going down the drain, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
you know, that weeble wobble is still out there somewhere.
It is. It is literally. Isn't?
I can't remember who said it.
I don't know if that's like a. I don't know if that's an encouraging thought or what. Like,
it's a little
reassuring.
Scary.
Like, he's out there. So, well, here's the problem. Like, I still have
having adventures.
There's still this part of my brain that's not. Well, there's a lot of parts of my brain that aren't wired properly, but this one's still. All right, so I'm gonna let you into a little dark closet here.
Uh-oh.
I'm not sure what level. If we were in Inception, like We're not quite at the basement,
We're
but we're
Brazil now.
We're definitely moving towards
Not the country of the movie.
basement. Have you seen Inception?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're at the point where like 1 second is like 600 years.
No. I'm talking about like in his dream, like the memories he wanted to lock away. Like he put
right,
down. Like,
right.
remember,
Yeah.
he had different levels he would travel down. Like, well, so we're going downstairs.
We're in the archive.
Okay.
The restricted section.
I've always like as a child, I was one to like it's beyond anthropomorphizing things. It's like I would give souls to everything.
Oh my God. I know exactly what you mean.
Like, you know what I mean? Like everything.
Absolutely, man. I
So
did the
toys,
same
of course,
thing.
toys had like, they're like special places. I mean, special places.
Yeah.
And so it is not that far fetched. Like people do the same thing. Like the reason people won't throw away, this piece of paper that they've had since whatever, or because they do attribute, the reason they attribute something powerful to it, some powerful memory or
exactly.
spirit or whatever. Like people buy stuff that other people have owned, like famous people, purely because they've touched it or it's like a dress someone wore or whatever. Like, so it's not like uncommon for people to do crazy stuff. Okay.
True.
Well,
however,
I was like that, and then like I shook it. I like mostly shook it because I thought in like my little, you don't talk about these things as a kid. Like you don't walk around. It's not like you go see most of us don't go see a therapist and it's like, hey, I like to think of all these things as having souls or actually being alive. And if I like throw them away, I'm throwing like.
They're sad.
They're sad.
Right. No, I'm with you, man.
Then the movie Toys comes out.
Well, Toy Story, right?
Toy Story.
Or are you talking about
toy?
Weird
not the toy.
Robin Williams.
That's a completely different podcast.
Well, then that was because we got Toys with Robin Williams, and then we got The Toy with Richard Pryor.
Fantastic, ridiculously inappropriate, but fantastic movie because Richard Pryor is just one of the best ever.
Oh, he's
ever.
Every Richard Pryor movie is amazing.
And Toys was I love Robin Williams. God bless Robin Williams, but horrendous.
I remember laughing at the joke that when they had the sort of weapons of mass destruction video game, and you like nuke a town, and it shows all the destruction on the side, and it says Volvo's destroyed 0. I thought that was pretty funny. My girlfriend at the time drove a Volvo, and so it was
boxy but good.
Boxy but good, and that was what was that?
That was from Funny? No, not Funny.
It's Keaton,
Crazy
right?
People. No,
Was that Michael Keaton or was that another Robin
that was
Williams?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. Okay, yeah.
I think.
All right. Where he was like, suddenly, let's be honest about our products or whatever, an ad agency. Yeah.
Yes. We won't talk about.
We
the one
almost
for the
never
Mercedes.
crash or whatever.
Toy Story. Sorry, I can't believe I screwed that up. Toy Story. And then I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
right, exactly. I was like, I knew it.
Yes. Anyway, so this Weeble Wobble. If you're listening,
I hope you found some friends down there.
I hope you have been on some one terrific adventure.
Because Buzz and Woody have legs, so like when they animate, they can walk around. A Weeble Wobble's just this little.
They just weeble and they wobble, but they
thing,
won't fall down.
No, they won't. Well, they will fall down the drain, apparently. But
Gone.
He's gone. Weeble Nemo down the tubes, 20,000 leagues under the street.
Yeah, so it's tragic. And I think I mentioned that I did lose a boat of some sort. I wasn't terribly attached to it, but I was playing with a boat in the actual ocean, the real ocean.
I can't tell you how many things
it wasn't
I lost
meant
in
to
that
actually
thing.
float for real. It's a toy boat of some sort, and if it sank and went, and we couldn't find it. My father tried. That was sad. Oh, I do remember from that same trip to Walt Disney World when I was 3. That one of the memories that I like. It's like
You were 3 and or 4.
no, it wasn't. It was definitely 3. Definitely 3. That was my Tower of Terror chair. Hold on. Here we go.
A warm welcome back to those of you who made it.
And those of you wish you didn't, I'm so sorry. What the hell was I saying?
Something about on the same trip.
Yes, to Walt Disney World when I was 3.
Yeah.
I had a Mickey balloon.
Yes.
And I was doing that whole like, oh, let go, catch it, let go, catch it, let go, catch it. You remember Superman
Tempting
2?
Fate, I think is what they call that.
You remember Superman 2?
Yes, I do.
With Christopher Reeve. Remember that
and
kid like at Niagara Falls?
At Niagara Falls, yes.
I was totally that kid. I would do stupid stuff like that all the time.
Look, Mom.
Here I am.
Mom totally not paying attention.
All right, so I'm like holding the, you know, oh, look, let go, catch, let go, catch, let go, catch, let go, catch. Whoa, oh no. There goes the balloon.
Uh-huh.
My grandfather, like so for some, like apparently my parents were like not paying attention enough that I was allowed to do this with this balloon that probably cost the equivalent of today of like $50,000. But
Right.
but they were paying enough of attention that they saw it happen, or I yelled like, "Oh, my balloon!" Like they actually leapt in the air. I remember I have like this image of my father and my grandfather both leaping into the air, trying to catch this balloon. To this day,
was that
I'm
just to convince you that they did everything they could?
Whether it was an actual attempt to catch the balloon, or whether it was just to pacify Jason. Like, because they knew me well enough at this point, all of the 3 years I'd been alive, that probably if it didn't look like they had leapt for the balloon, they were going to
You're going to hold that against them.
They didn't care about my balloon. They didn't try to get my balloon.
You had legs. You didn't jump. Why didn't you jump? That's all I want to know.
Or maybe it went up slow enough that they actually thought they could catch it. Like
it could be.
Helium balloons work pretty fast. They like you let those things go. There's a right.
Yeah.
They're leaping in the air like. Come on, guys! You never.
That was the days of the latex Mickey balloon. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you always had that one that was that one of the ears has deflated for some reason. And it always looked vaguely obscene. I don't know why.
I never had that.
No, it's like the elasticity.
And I had it for like 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, clearly you didn't have a heck of a lot of experience with these, but yeah, apparently the pressure would get low enough to where I guess I don't even know what's going on in there, but one of the elasticity or the squeeziness of the latex would compress one of it was low enough that it compressed one of the ears, and that made the pressure go up in the main head and other ear. But it was this weird looking thing when it was like that. And every one of those guys that has the 300,000 balloons that's walking down Main Street, you can see there's like 2 of them where one of the ears is.
I want that one.
They don't have those anymore, and that's a shame.
Yeah. That's too bad. Well, there you go. That's
so we got the
mystery.
So here's my question about Craig. Did he think that you didn't want him at your party? Because he clearly didn't.
Oh no, I don't think Craig ever knew about it.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because
probably we talked about it.
We addressed the fact that Greg accidentally got the invitation, but we hadn't really addressed the fact that Craig was supposed to get it and didn't. I was wondering if he was like, "Hey."
No, and I'm sure I didn't bring it up because I would have been too embarrassed to admit to actually what happened.
Where he's like, "Who is this Greg person that you like better than me?" What? Oh no.
I think Craig. I wonder if this happened before or after.
What? Like slash your tires or something?
We had, so my first grade teacher, Miss Whalen, lovely person, but kind of a mean teacher. I mean, like, she just like followed order. So as a child, it's mean. As an adult, it's like, thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. This was first grade teacher?
Yeah, first grade teacher. We were at the audio stations, whatever they call those things, like the you like had your headphones on and you listen. Basically, like the teacher taught like half the class, the other half was like over doing like their little like.
Wow, you were pretty high tech there for 77.
Either that or special. And I don't know. Maybe it was high tech. I don't know. Was that high tech for 1980? Like have like a little like.
Yeah,
cassette?
giving kids electronics. Ish.
Well, then we didn't have like iPads. It was like we were at like a table.
No, but yeah,
like
headphones.
A record playing and like headphones on, so she can hear. I like, it's not like 1930.
You one of them city boys. Well, I went to first grade in Arkansas.
We were borderline city boys. At some point, I will also on some future episode we will talk about the terrible busing situation that happened.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it's horrible, terrible. Anyway, you know, it's even bad like when you're like in third grade and you question it like you know something's wrong with adults. Like when a second or third grade is like, wait, why does that happen? Okay, because
third
people are
graders.
terrible.
The infrastructure is terrible here.
The answer is because people are racist, terrible people. That's why.
Well, this is true.
That's why these things happen. Okay, so going back to Craig, we were sitting at the like audio station. I'm not even calling it an AV station. I don't think there was any video component. It was just like
it was an A station.
It was an A station, and we're sitting there, and Craig asked to go to the bathroom, like, you know, because you have to do because you're indentured servants, sure. And you have to like beg permission to go to the bathroom. Because we've all known how to like actually hold it for all of 2 minutes. By the time you're in first grade, like, how long have you actually been potty trained? It's not that long in the big scheme of things. And to think about all the years of your life that you're potty trained, the distance between diapers and first grade is very small.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Not a lot of experience.
Right. So he had to go to the bathroom. He's like, raising his hand, gotta go to the bathroom. She says, you gotta wait. Because, you know, they have that rule, like, you didn't go, like, when you should have had to go. And so now, right?
Right.
And he really is like, you know, I remember him pleading. He's like in talking, he's right next to me. I'm like, he's got another. So I'm in advocate mode now. I'm like, he's gotta go. He's not faking it.
Please, the court, my client.
Right. I'm like making his case. Like, she's like, okay. He pees himself.
Well, of course he does.
Just as sure as the Weeble Wobble's going down the drain. This is happening. And then, of course, he gets to go to the bathroom.
Well, yeah, just in time,
and
right?
And then there's a mess to clean up and everything else. It's embarrassing and everything. What I don't know is whether this happened.
Well, this is Craig that this happened to.
This is Craig. I don't know I don't know whether this happened before or after. In my head.
Did you traumatize him so bad that he peed himself? Like, you're.
No, how dare you? I was trying to make myself more magnanimous. Like, I was thinking, you see, it was after this incident happened that I invited him to the party. I wanted to because I was trying to make him realize that he's okay.
It's all right. You can pee yourself. I'll invite you over to my house. You can pee yourself all you want. We don't judge in this house.
I was not expecting that. Oh my God. I just spit all over everything. It's a good thing we're not here in person because you'd be like,
all
you and your
COVID
sensitive self, you'd be like so... You wouldn't even be able to, Emily would not even let you in the house.
Not remotely. I would be quarantined in the garage.
Yeah. So that was Craig. I wonder what he's doing.
He's probably still bitter.
I don't know.
It's like,
I don't know. I'm sure he remembers it. Not the birthday thing, but I'm sure he remembers that first grade thing.
He had a lot of baggage, that kid. Peed himself in the middle of the class. He got disinvited to his best friend's birthday.
No, he was not disinvited. He was out sick that day.
Well, yeah, it was kind of his fault, I guess.
I mean, well.
He didn't realize it.
If he hadn't, I think about this now, if he hadn't been out sick that day and we would have been in school and I would have been talking about it,
You'd
I would have been
like,
what are we going to do tonight? Like, what are we going to watch? We're going to do like, blah, 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 right? All these things.
We're going to do what now?
Yeah, what would he say? I mean, he probably would have clued me in, but it's not like I get on my cell phone and like, hey, Mom, guess what?
But then how bad would that have been
up.
for Greg, though, right? He shows up also because he's still invited. And now it's him and two people who are friends.
Could have had both, I think, at that point, which would be complicated because I had bunk beds, and that's two.
Yeah. But he's going to be the obvious odd one out, right? I mean, if it's just you and him, then you're just kind of awkward, but you're both sort of on equal footing. But if it's you and Craig and Greg, then we got problems.
It's not like the other.
Right. You know, we've all been there where you're the guy that doesn't know the inside jokes or whatever.
Every day of my life.
It was like that first time I went to life. When Lou had that WTW radio thing at the Carnival over at Maria and Enzo's, and I'm there like for the first time around all of you guys, and you guys all know each other, and I'm like, yeah, that's funny. But I don't get that. Yeah, all night. I was like that.
Really? I feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. It's all right.
I'm usually that guy.
Yeah, see, and that was me. I took one for you.
Oh, thanks.
No problem.
Well,
but it still happens today. That's my point.
It does. You didn't pee yourself, though.
You remember when I got all those napkins? That was not anything to do with the gravy.
You didn't finish the job. You are getting old.
Well, like we say, we get carded, but we still have prostate problems that cause us to pee ourselves.
Not wear serious hats.
Yeah, and we can't get to the hat age yet. My grandfather would rock a hat. I mean, he was born in 20, right?
Yeah.
And so he had
born with a hat on.
He had, the slopey forward sort of English countryside kind of hat, and he rocked the hell out of those things. He was also like 3 feet tall, but that's the Scottish side of my family, right? So he's short, he's got giant eyebrows, and he says "I."
So he's a hobbit.
He's more of a dwarf because he is very stocky.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. He passed away last fall, but at the ripe old age of 98, like days shy of 99, and. But yeah, he looked like just a little Scottish guy. How you doing, lad? But he didn't sound like that. But because despite looking Scottish, he was born in Mississippi, so was distinctly not. Although he did say "I," He said "I" all the time, and I guess that was passed down through the family. But
that's funny.
When he was 94, I think it was 95. 95, we took him to Disney World. He rode all the stuff. He rode Space Mountain. He rode Rock and Roller Coaster. He was the man. Yeah. Well, see, he's World War II, Korea, Vietnam. He was in all three of those wars, and massive war hero. Retired as a command sergeant major, which is like the highest enlisted rank in the Army you can be without being like appointed by Congress.
Plus, you have to be, and he has to be tough because he's being so short. Right.
And he's doing, now, this is the absolute truth. We're in, like, he loved some Liberty Tree Tavern just because the food was great. And his type of food, right? It could, big plates of home cooking kind of stuff. So we went there every time we went with them, because they took me when I went the first time I went back in '83. And so, once I got to a certain point, then I started taking them pretty much. And has never met a stranger. He talks to somebody, and by 10 minutes later, you're like, where the heck is Pete? And because I know him by the name Pete. That's we talked about this at dinner. Yeah, my family is bizarre in that all the males are known by their first name, even to their progeny. So like, where the hell? No, not Prodigy. Not the really crap. Yeah, I was about to say not the '80s, crappy internet service. CompuServe is so much better. But we call it Frodigy. But I like Prodigy. but he's over there and he has talked to, like one of the cast members or whatever. And suddenly they're best friends and they're laughing and whatnot. So we're looking around and he's talking to another table. Some poor family now has this short, very old man talking to them and telling them and the cast members that were serving them that he can do 100 push-ups. And the thing is, he could. He was doing 100 push-ups every day when he was 95 years old. Now, when he started getting the cancer and the stuff like that, and, that had to kind of stop. But hand to God, he drops in the middle of Liberty Tree Tavern. And now, if you go in the front door and you turn right and you go up those stairs, and it's like all the way to when you hit the wall, there's a little section. It's got about 5 tables in there. That's the section we're in. That's where he hits the floor and just starts cranking them out.
So he's like the Jack Palance of Disney World.
Pretty much. Pete Palance, that was him. And because he was like, "You don't believe me? Watch this." Boom, And I was like, "Oh God." Because I would like to say that was a rare occurrence, but it was not. But awesome. He's truly one of the top of my list of heroes, because he's not one of those guys that's like, "Oh, war is hell," I don't talk about what I saw. He would tell you all kinds of war stories, but they're all funny. They're all something that, like, he screwed up and fell down a mountain or something like that, and they're hilarious. And he loved telling those stories. He's a great guy.
That's awesome. Well, good. Well, maybe we should end on that.
Yeah.
A nice
ending. Not your friend peeing himself. That's probably a little better than